today I am going to be talking about admissions. I have gotten so many questions about admissions, especially in relation to the Ptdf scholarship. So I have questions like, am I supposed to apply? Does Ptdf cover admission? How does the admission work? Do I automatically qualify to be admitted into a school as soon as I get the scholarship? Let us talk about that in today's video. If you have not joined this family by subscribing, what are you waiting for? Subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that you can get notified whenever I put up a similar, interesting and educating video such as this. And to all of my loyal subscribers, I see all of you. I appreciate you all. Thank you for sticking with me. Having said all of this, let's delve into today's video where I talk about admissions for the Ptdf scholarship. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Veronica and today I am going to be talking about admissions. To everyone that have successfully gone through the interview phase, how was it? Tell me in the comment section below. Did it go well? Did the questions come as a shock or surprise? Were you well prepared? How did you tackle the questions? Just in a few words or in a sentence, let me know how your interview went. Now that you have done your interview, the next phase is very critical because it can be termed the waiting phase. Okay, it's like a time where you have to wait. You will find yourself being nervous at some point. You find yourself thinking about if you will be considered, if you convince the panel, if you were able to impress them. It is absolutely normal. So I would say that when you find yourself in this kind of feeling or mood, do not get too worked up or do not overthink it. Just try to wave it off and keep yourself busy so that you are not too overwhelmed or you are not too depressed or you're not too sad before the list is out. I would advise you now to get busy, and that is why I decided to record this video so that you can know what you can do. I just want to tell you things that you can do now that you have gone through your interview so that you can be better prepared when the list is out and if or when you make the list. I have a similar video like this, but this video is about waiting after the application process for Ptdf, but you can still learn one or two things from it. I'll link it up somewhere on the screen so that you can watch it. I shared how you can start applying for admission, how you can research for schools, things you can do just to distract yourself while you wait to be called for the interview. It is now a different stage of waiting because you've now done your interview and you want to wait for the list. It's going to take about nothing less than 2 months before you're called. So that's a long period of time. There is no way that you would not think about what to expect from the interview, how it went and all of that. But let me tell you what you can do during this waiting period, and that would be to apply for admissions. In the last couple of weeks and months, I have gotten a lot of questions about admissions and I want to talk about it now. So if you've applied for the Ptdf scholarship, it is on you to get your admission. The Ptdf scholarship will not get an admission for you. If you watched my full Ptdf story, you will understand better how I almost didn't get an admission and I got it just at the dying minute. But there are some schools that they will close on their resumption early. My own school as well, you really can't tell. Maybe they just had more slots in my course or they just had more slots generally. It might not be the case for you. That is why I want to advise you to apply as early as possible so that you will not be in my shoe. For some of you that are reaching out to me saying that the schools that you want to go to, they have their admissions closed already, then you have two options, I think, and one will be to consider other schools that have not closed, or number two, you have the opportunity to defer your scholarship by 1 academic session. So if for any reason you are not able to go immediately in September or October, you can defer your scholarship by 1 year, or you can actually go for schools that have January start dates. So these are the things you should consider. Do I want to look out for schools that have January start dates? Because when the scholarship list is out by August, will I be able to meet up with resumption in September? My own school resumption was in mid-September, I think 12th or 16th thereabouts, and the scholarship list came out on August 13th for me. Imagine that it was just about 1 month for school to resume, and I resumed in October. So school had already gone about half of the semester. I resumed 6 weeks into study, 6 weeks into the semester, and you can imagine what that would be. It was a lot of catching up to do. It was a lot because I had to still settle down. I had so many things going on. So you have to consider all of this, but know that you are the one in charge of your admission. So start now. Pick up the list of all the approved Ptdf schools. Start with the ones that offer your course. And let me put this out here now. It doesn't have to be the schools and courses that you picked during the Ptdf application or that you talked about during the Ptdf interview. Now you have the flexibility to choose as long as it is between the Ptdf approved schools. Now I got a question about whether you also have the choice to now be flexible about your country of choice. And this is where I would say you have to be cautious. The rule for Ptdf is that if you're picking the UK, you have to stick to the UK for your 3 choices. So if you pick the UK for your application, you can't switch. Your schools have to be in the UK. So do not get it twisted. You have the flexibility for courses. You have the flexibility for schools as long as they are Ptdf approved schools, but not with country. But if you picked any of the other countries, Malaysia, Germany, and France, then it can be within those 3 countries, because the rule is that if you're picking those 3 countries or any of the 3 countries, you can't pick the UK. So do not apply for a UK school if in your application you picked any of the 3 countries, Germany, France, and Malaysia. Okay, if you also pick just the UK, stick to the UK for your admissions. But if we are talking about courses and schools, then if you pick the UK, you can change your course or your school when applying. I hope you understand. So I have a video about how you can apply and how you can research for schools and all of that. You can also check that out, and I believe that will help you. But a simple way to start would be a Google search, okay? And that will lead you directly to the website of each of these schools. If you want me to sit down to do a sample video where I'll show you my screen and give you how you can navigate through the application process, navigate through the school's website, I can do that. Just let me know in the comment section below. But I want to assure you that it's nothing out of the ordinary. It's nothing difficult, okay? Just pick up your phone, pick up your laptop, and start applying. Apply to as many schools as possible. This is so that you do not get so many rejections and have to start all over again, okay? So if you have a particular school in mind and a particular course in mind, then go to that school, search for the school. For example, I went to Ife-Olaitan University. If you go to Ife-Olaitan University Master's Degree Program, on a simple Google search bar, you will be directed to Ife-Olaitan University website. Just navigate through it and go through directly to the course that you are looking for. When you click on it, they will tell you how to apply. It's just about uploading a couple of certificates and documents, and also telling them about yourself, telling them about your experiences, telling them about your qualifications, your previous studies, and all of that. And then you submit your application. And after doing that, you expect to get a reply for them. And there is one interesting thing about applications. You can always reach out to them. If you are applying or when you are applying, search for the different ways that you can reach out to the school. Some of them have their phone number, some of them have their email addresses. I believe that communication by email is a great way to reach out to schools. Someone was asking me a question recently about how long it would take to get your CAS after you have gotten your admission or while you are in the process of preparing for your visa. And I'm like, I am not the right person for you to ask. It's just about sending a simple email to your school. They are always willing to help. They are always willing to assist, and they will most likely respond as fast as possible. So just send an email to whatever school it is that you are wanting to get feedback from, or you just want to know something about the admission process. You want to know how long something will take. You want to know what certificates they'll be needing. Some of you would get to the point where you have to show a proof of English language to the school. You can reach out to them and say, okay, I do not have this. Can I use this in that stead? Do you understand? Like, instead of asking me for IELTS, can I use an English language letter from my school or from my place of work? For Ife-Olaitan University, I remember using an English language letter from my place of work where it stated that everything I do at work, talking, speaking, listening, and writing, they are all in English language. And there'll be a format. Just tell your HR, please, I need this for some important application. Help me to draft out this on the company letterhead. And that works for your English language proficiency. You don't even have to go and write exams. So these are the things you have to consider. If you know that you do not want to write IELTS, then do not look at schools that would require you to write IELTS, because I do not think Ptdf will cover that. You will have to cover that yourself. Well, except other scholars can confirm that Ptdf covered it, but I have not heard that before. So also, let me talk about your application fees. Some people have reached out to me saying that admissions they are applying for require them to pay admission fees. And this is my take on that. Do not pay any admission fees to schools, okay? These are the two ways that I think you can address that. Number one, focus on schools that do not require admission fees. There are a couple of them. Just apply. Tell them as well that you are expecting feedback from a scholarship that you applied for, because we will get to the point where they will ask about your funding. How do you want to fund your studies? Are you self-sponsored? Are you sponsored by a scholarship? Are you sponsored by the government? So just pick that you are going to be sponsored by a scholarship, and if they ask you to give more explanation about that, you can tell them that you are at the interview stage and final stage of a particular scholarship Ptdf, and you can attach the invitation for interview to the application as well, so that they understand better that you are likely going to be sponsored. And because they are partner schools with the Ptdf, they already know about the Ptdf, and it's much more easier. Okay, that's for funding, and that can cover as well for admission fees. If there is no place on the application window or portal to put in all of this, and it's just saying you have to pay admission fee before you can proceed, then that is where communication comes in. You have to be ready to communicate. Go back again, send an email and say, I'm currently applying to your school and to this course, and I am at this point where I'm asked to pay an admission fee. I would like to request that this is waived for me because I am a potential scholar. I am a potential Ptdf scholar. And then wait for them to respond before you continue on your application. So it's really easy, but you have to be ready to do the work. The requirement is just for you to have one admission by the time the scholarship list is out. If you have an admission already, it's fine. You just wait for the list to be out, but make sure that it is an admission in one of the Ptdf partner university. I hope you understand. So I think that would be all the questions about admissions for now. I will leave the floor open for you to ask me any further questions in the comment section below, but know that you are the one in charge of your admission. Do not wait till the list is out. If you want to wait till the list is out, just know that it will be difficult getting an admission within that time frame, because most schools would have already closed the application portal, as resumption will be in September, except you want to defer your scholarship to the next year. So it's better to get your admission now. If you do not get a scholarship, that's if. I am not praying for anybody, but not everyone will get a scholarship, and that is the truth. If you do not get a scholarship, it's still okay to defer your admission as well by a year. There are options or opportunities. Sometimes some schools will allow you to defer your admission to the next year, and you continue working on other scholarships. Yes, this is another thing I would like to say. Apart from applying for admissions, look for other scholarships that you can apply to as well. Do not just stop outrightly because you're waiting for the Ptdf feedback. It's still okay if you apply to other scholarships. I have a video on that where I said there are some other scholarships that you can apply for, not so competitive, still very rewarding, that you can apply for, and just in case you do not make the Ptdf list, you can have something to fall back on. After all, if you have more than one scholarships to pick from, it's still okay than not having anyone at all. I hope you understand what I mean. So please ask me as many questions as you want about your admissions in the comment section below, or if there are any questions that I touched or you need more clarity on, then let me know, and I will make subsequent videos in the coming weeks to attend to your questions. So I wish you all the very best. Once again, do not be too anxious about what the Ptdf result will be. It is now beyond your control. You've done your best, and like I would always say, leave the rest to God. Do not forget as well to pray about the review process of the interview. Tell God to favor you. Tell God to put you in the mind of all the interviewers. You know, prayer works, and this is a good time to always remember your interview application and the review process in the hands of God. And I believe that all things will work together for your good eventually. So if you watch to this very end, I appreciate you. Thank you so much. And do not forget to subscribe. Click on the subscription button. Share my channel to intending scholarship applicants, people that are particular about their self-development and their growth. Let them subscribe as well, so that we can keep growing as a community. Thank you once again, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.